Hello! Welcome back to my interdisciplinary art studio. This summer I crafted a cozy, whimsical tea party and started my dream renovations in our beautiful dining room to turn it into a fantasy Lord of the Rings, whimsical inspired game room. I'll share how I crafted the event from all thrifted items. Oh, the mother load! And a few other Hobbity adventures I got up to this summer. Hobbit's on the move! Let the summer of whimsy begin! I started with a tufted bag end piece using my vintage 70s tufting tool and punch needle. Alright, so I had originally done this yellow, but I just felt like it was way too saturated. Then I switched to mixing these two yellows, and I feel like that's just gonna be a lot better. This is olive grass. How's it feeling?
Good. This is cool.
Hello there.
It is.
I'm obsessed. I'm so proud of this, honestly.
I already tucked everything in the back, but I want to get some felt on the back of this. Okay, I'm gonna finish this guy and then I'm gonna figure out this. Because the needle and thread will pass through sort of that gluey layer on the back of the piece, I keep a separate needle as well as several pins that I'm okay with getting sticky during this process. It was so snuggly and so lovely, and I was so happy that it was done. But to be able to actually hang it, I went into my D-ring bin that I usually use for paintings, and I attached these to the side just by hand sewing them to the back of the felt and just hand stitch them on there. No Hobbit birthday is complete without lovely bunting.
I could have just drawn this, but it was just nice to see what a good standard size was for bunting from a Hobbit themed party. So I think this is perfect because I can kind of use smaller scraps and just stuff that I wouldn't necessarily want to make into a garment. I'm just gonna go through this little stack. Pretty. Aww. I'm honestly not sure how many to make. This is what I landed on. I've got several little guys. I feel like these are Hobbity and fun and will look great as bunting. Just gonna cut as many as I can.
Quite simply cut 2 for every one of those bunting pieces that you want, and sew 2 out of the 3 sides together. I definitely recommend chain stitching these pieces. I think I did about 30 triangles. Then lay them out in a desired pattern, and then you're gonna just use some bias tape that you can either make or find. I found this at the thrift store, and then attach it to one of the sides, fold it over to lock it all in. I just did this on my sewing machine. I did it in green thread so that it would be nice and clean looking and go over all of the pieces. It was super duper easy. I'll definitely add a link to the free template that I got, and she includes the directions as well.
I think this will be plenty long enough.
My husband got me these gorgeous flowers for one of my gallery openings, and I wanted to recreate them the best that I could. So in looking very closely at the sunflower, alongside this video, which I have linked below, I created my own template. So I made tons of different petals and tons of different strips that kind of create that seed center. So I made these long strips. You can see them. They're brown, more jagged ones, and then there's this lighter green one. I basically make an inch width, and then it's probably like 13 inches long, and then I snip into it about halfway. Then I take some hot glue and I roll it over itself to bulk it up more and more, so cascading that center into different colors. You can do the browns into a darker brown to a lighter brown, or the sunflowers that you see that have a green center that go to orange and go to a bit of a darker kind of ochre color. This was such a fun opportunity to play with color and texture and use felt in a way that I've never done before. It was such a fun process, and I highly recommend making a template or finding one online and then making them in bulk. I did 5 for this bouquet, and then I accompanied it, filled it out with faux flowers that I had hanging around the studio. The rest of the flowers that I had, I made into flower crowns for myself and another birthday Hobbit. And I took those flowers and simply just wrapped them around with floral tape onto some nice thick cording, and I braid the cording, and then I just wrap each little piece around. This is super duper simple, but definitely adds a lot of whimsy and texture to my Hobbity outfits.
Hello, good morning. So, today's plan.
Let's make a patchwork tablecloth using all scraps that have an earthy summer into autumn feel. I did all 11 by 11 squares of my fabric.
Excuse you. The color that I have the most of, this is kind of like the special one. I only have 2 of these. That is so perfect. Okay, so if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 4 squares, then I could just sew them all together. That worked out so easily. Oh my gosh. Okay. I guess we'll just do that then. I was gonna like have to plan it a lot more, but now it's just so easy. I love that. Oh, these are my favorite combination.
This makes for an excellent plan for a more simple quilt back, which I tend to go really detailed. So this was really fun. I actually did all of this in one single day. It was a long day, but I was so happy with it.
Now, if you are making this along with me, and you are making this into a quilt backing, then you're all set. And then you would refine the edges when you make your quilt sandwich. I can't show you the whole thing, it's too big. For me, since I'm making this into a tablecloth, I am simply going to press at a 1/4 inch and then press again and sew down as the straight stitch. She's a big girl.
I wanted my Hobbit to be a fierce warrior Hobbit, and therefore she needed a beautiful leather belt.
I'll be working on my little belt corset. Doing all of this with the rolling stump tutorial. Instead of doing it in leather, I have some EVA foam, so I'm going to do it out of that. And I've cut out all the pieces. I just need to Dremel everything using a little hand Dremel, and definitely wearing this. Do not mess around with that. Okay, everything's cut out. And honestly, I kind of just want to like sew it / glue it together and then sand the edges that need it.
I took a small break from that and actually altered the bracers that I made previously for my husband because I made them a little too long, and I strung it with these leather cords. And if you want to see a full video on how I made these and the painting and the designing and all of that, you can go to this video, which I'll link below. Hi, it's a hot one out here. I determined my size, cut the pieces out of EVA foam, and then I dremeled all of the pieces so that the edges are rounded and they appear more leather-like. I'm using contact cement to stick them on. Add the glue to both sides that you'd like to stick together. Wait for it to dry almost completely so that it's not gloopy and sticky before you secure them together. It seems counterintuitive, but it will work. Using this wooden stick was totally fine for such a small project, but definitely getting a squeegee bottle to get it nice and precise is my definite recommendation. I found using burnt umber, burnt sienna, a white, a Mars black, and layering those together was my best success at creating faux leather. Then I went through and using some embroidery floss, hand stitched every single element that would have been how it was created if it was made of leather.
Hello, good morning. I think there's something about cosplay that just makes you finish it the day you're wearing it, but here we are, finished painting. I might do a little bit of touch-ups, but everything is hand sewn. I didn't end up doing it saddle stitch style because I just didn't have time, but I tried to make it as leather looking as possible. Made these, they're so cute. Oh wow, my hair is crazy. Very hoppity, which is a great sign, but she big. Definitely check out Rolling Stump's YouTube channel and her Etsy. I'm going to be using even more of the patterns coming up in the fall when I make my Violet, Sorrengail, and Zayden Ryerson cosplays. So
Everybody probably thinks
I'm honestly like impressed with myself. Kind of looks like leather, right? I love the leaves. Oh, I'm so happy with how they came out. That we built. I ended up modifying this a tiny bit because I liked how this looked better. Let us. Ooh. There's tons of mushrooms in the yard right now because it's been so rainy. Things have been progressing. So at this point, I've made some faux flowers, the bunting, a patchwork tablecloth, these cuties. Up till right now, every single thing that I've made for this Hobbit tea party has been all supplies that I have had in my studio. I would love to find some more kind of serving dishes. We only have this. I'm gonna take you on a little thrifting adventure. Plus, yeah, Dan has been working on building this incredible tea station. It's well on its way. My role will be coming up real soon where I'm going to paint it. I'm gonna do lime washing. It's going to be very much a tea and herbal apothecary. Let's grab the GoPro and head out into the world.
it's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Literally looked like somebody had my party and then was like, I'm good. You can have all of it. What? Hello. Oh, the mother load. Truly everything I needed was at this one Goodwill and I just lucked out. I'm gonna show you everything I found. So far, I have not bought a single thing for this, and this was a total of everything that I got was 60 bucks. And everything that I bought will be usable far past this event because we're not trying to just buy stuff here. I don't like just having things around. I want it to be something that I'm gonna use year after year and will be part of my life. Watermelon serving tray. Most of the stuff that I got is actually for the herbal apothecary, the tea station. So I'll wait on showing that. Look at this. The dream thing was to find a picnic basket that I could fit all the things that I would want to have a picnic. I found the basket for $10. Oh my God. And I was looking at ones on Etsy for like 70 and they were like not even as nice as this. It's a little cutie. 10 bucks for a bunch of yarn that is definitely my color palette. Beautiful ceramic. I want to fill this with ice
and then have a lovely drink in here. So cute. So fun. The picnic basket. It's brand new. Everything still has the plastic on it. And that is crazy to find at Goodwill. That's cute. Oh, I didn't even realize that. I can eventually get some plates that are this size that I like more, but this is a perfect starter. Of the Hobbity treats that I made, I just painted this beautiful tea station, which I'm so excited about. Till coconut milk is reduced by half and coats the back of the spoon. Ooh, 45 minutes. Oh my God. I got other things to do. Okay, the deviled eggs. I went to the farm stand looking to get beets and to get farm fresh eggs, and then they just had pickled, like they already had pickled eggs. I was like, I can just buy theirs and support them. Ooh, that's so cute. Every time I see deviled eggs, I just think about Just Mariano, and he's like, someone deviled egged my car. I added paprika, some mayo, some scallions, and make it as spicy as you would like. These are all gonna go in the cabinet soon, but they're just hanging out until it's totally done. Now for the main event, the tea. So I made a few different teas. I did some turmeric, ginger, and mint tea, and you can also add some black tea to it if you would like to make it caffeinated, but I wanted anybody to be able to have it throughout the day. I just grate some ginger, about a tablespoon, and then I add several mint leaves, a touch of turmeric, and then you can sweeten it if you would like. Then I add just some boiling water and I keep it in this teapot. Then I chilled it overnight. Now, to be able to add some beautiful color to this display, I grabbed some butterfly pea flowers and I went by Haley Post recipe.
1/4 cup of dried butterfly pea flowers, 1 teaspoon of dried lavender, and 4 cups of boiling water, and letting it steep for about 10 minutes. Then this is going into the fridge to chill overnight.
I did make a few modifications, like adding my hedgehog to be part of the fun. I was so excited to try this recipe. I've been so in love with Haley Post's videos lately, and I was really excited to see how beautiful this came out. Oh my God, this is very blue. Holy crap. That is whimsical as hell. What a gorgeous situation. I think I'm gonna add lemon to it to modify it to be purple. We'll finish that up on the day of the actual tea party, but let's start decorating the space to get ready for guests. I hung up the bunting and I was so happy to see that it actually fit perfectly around the room. I gathered all of my dried flowers that I've been collecting over the previous month, as well as my thrifted items to start decorating the space. I added all of these up in the kitchen to add a little more whimsy, and then I picked fresh flowers that were wild in our garden, and those made a great addition to the space. One day we're going to be building a beautiful wooden table, but you have to make the space that you have as beautiful as you can with the budget you have and the time that you have. And this was really a celebration of making use of what I had, hanging out and being on a really small budget. And I hope that this inspires you to take what you have and make something beautiful, even if it's just a few thrifted items and just a little time and care and love. No Hobbit gathering is complete without some lambus bread, so I decided to make these little wraps out of cardstock. You can find a template online, I linked it below, and it's super easy. You can just trace them onto some nice green thick cardstock. I strategically made sure that I could get 3 onto this piece of paper, and I just used a nice thick Sharpie, and then I cut on the outside of that thicker line so that it gave it a nice complete look. Then I just hand drew the veins of the leaf and I modeled it after the example that I had drawn out, and it was easy peasy lemon squeezy. I think I made about 14 of these, just enough for everybody to have their own little piece of lambus bread at the party.
I got dressed. So I ended up doing a modified version and being very gently Hobbit inspired, but I'll show you my full costume later on. I made my skirt and a linen top, and I also made some gluten-free, dairy-free, low FODMAP chocolate chip cookies that people actually did think were tasty, and I wrapped those in my beautiful little lembas bread wraps, and it was really fun. I just did it with some twine and tucked in the sides. It took a little bit of navigating with the string to just make sure things were secure, but I'm glad that I used such thick cordage and it worked great. And I had plenty of extra cookies on the side, but I wanted to make sure everybody had their own lembas bread cookie that they could have and unwrap, and it ended up being so cute. I got out the china that is actually my grandparents from their wedding, and it was so beautiful to get to have, and it's been so special to get to use with my friends and family. So I put my beautiful purple drink, at this point it was blue, into these cups, but I wanted it to match the cups, so by adding the lemonade and some Pellegrino, it changed, and I added a little blackberry for some whimsy. It was super delicious, and I'm happy to say everybody really liked this drink. So you can also combine it with other drinks. This is how things looked. We have even more plans for this room than you can possibly imagine. It felt so good to at least get started with this space and bring some of our ideas into the world. I also shared how I made these in a previous video. And then the scraps that I had left from that, I put into the actual patchwork tablecloth. This is one of my favorite things. I just got this little moss, and then I made these clay mushrooms. I did glue things down in little crystals. I got this for Dan for his birthday. It is a candle warmer. It is currently warming a pine scented candle, so it smells great. Drawing some more flowers. One of our wedding pictures. Happy to do a tour of all of the whimsical crafts and art pieces and thrifted pieces that are throughout the house, because the whole theme of our home is fantasy and whimsy, and just an earthy kind of fantasy cottage is what we're kind of going for. So I will definitely be making more videos of the murals I'm going to be making in here, the different furniture renovations I'm doing, and just there's so much to come, and I have already recorded tons of that. And I didn't get any footage from the party really because we were just too busy having fun, but this is how things looked after the party. Not only did we have the fantasy tea party, but we also went to 2 cosplay conventions this summer, and I'll share a little bit of that with you as well.
Hobbit's on the move. We're walking. We're gonna go. Yeah. It's very hot. Yes. The Hobbits are coming to Fan Expo.
There's something so joyful and playful about going to a convention, and I want to fill my life with these so much more, and I just admired so much of the artistry and fun from everyone there. This is my son.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Look who it is. Oh my god, he's got friends. Bam. Ah! Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I will defend you, Hobbitses.
From the giant orc. Hello. Fun. So at Fan Expo, we also got a couple souvenirs, and I'm so excited. I got this, which is a tea towel. Everything that I got from Fan Expo was from the Weta workshop. How beautiful is this? I want to make it into a mini quilt, as well as, I'm losing my mind. Rivendell. So unbelievably gorgeous. 10 little concept postcards. Gorgeous. I cannot Oh, and we met our favorite Hobbit, Pippin, Billy Boyd. I love him. What'd you think? I hope that you enjoyed seeing me create this collection of pieces to adorn the space and myself. Okay. I didn't wear this, but this very much feels like Mary. I just think there's lots more whimsy and fantasy to come. Thanks so much for hanging out in the studio with me. See you later. Bye.